And you're gonna have a video to record. Okay, I'm gonna call the meeting to order at 6:06.
I got it.
You got it? Want to note that we have 3 members of the public here, and Rich Brown has kindly set up his camera, so there will also be a video recording of this available later. And Rich, you'll let us know where that link is, so
Absolutely,
we could
yes.
put that in our notes, if that
Oh.
is appropriate. Would that be
Absolutely.
appropriate?
Yeah, if you wanna
That's
send it to me, I can put it in the minutes.
I have a playlist, I will send it to you. To whom should I send it?
If you send it to me, Rich, that'd be great.
Thank you, Mary Beth.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we need to know who the
Probably,
attendees are? Okay, so we've got Bill Malcolm, Peggy Plunkett, and Rich Brown. Okay. And we do have a few members of the public, and is Connie representing staff or just?
I think she's on the room.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
We'll have 30 minutes of public comment, but I'll open that now at 6:08. Anything anyone wants to say at the moment, and there'll be opportunities, we're pretty informal, but opportunities to make comment later. Anything?
I'm just here to listen.
Okay? No, thank you. Connie, do you have anything you want to say now? Okay, we'll move on, but if you do have something to say, Connie, you can raise your hand, and you all can raise your hands too. All right, the next thing I want to do, a little out of order, but we're going to approve the minutes from the last meeting, which was back in January.
I'm with those.
Okay, moved Glenshaw, Essenza seconds. Any comments, changes? Okay, it feels like an age ago, but everyone,
You seconded, right?
yeah. I'll approve, yes? Thank you. All right. And our main business today is going to be going through basically the calendar to, if you recall last year, since everybody's a returnee, we went through and looked at the calendar for the year, and kind of started to scope out what things would be topics for each session, and then also when we would need meetings and possibly extra meetings, or when we didn't need meetings. And with that, Mary Beth, I'll turn it over to you for a minute, because you said you had matched up some meetings and
Yeah,
times.
what I did is I took because we have an approved list of school board meetings for next year, and the finance committee meets in advance of those meetings. So I kind of put that on our work plan. Let me just, one second. And, I have shared the budget piece with you. Let's see.
You're talking about this work plan, you just emailed out.
Yep.
Oh. Okay.
All right.
Come here.
Sure.
There it is.
Yay.
So what you'll see, the red are the dates from the budget committee last year. We don't have those dates yet, but it gives you a sense of the timing. All the other dates above are the dates that we've already decided on for meetings.
Okay.
Oh, this is an old one.
Well, the notes are old, but the dates at the top are new. Just to kind of give you a sense of what we did last year.
No, I have September 17th as the date, and it's September 22nd, so whatever.
Yeah, check and see if it says fiscal year 28 finance committee, because you.
27,
Yeah, you did 28.
well, that's what you sent us.
No. Oh, it says 27, sorry, you're right. I'm
Oh
looking
my
at
goodness,
that.
who's
I'm
on
looking at
first,
that.
right?
But,
All right,
but-
Did you eat your dinner?
Did you have your Wheaties?
I know, yikes.
That is okay. We can go by this if you wanna send us the correct
Okay.
one later. Why don't we do
Alright.
that?
Yeah, we don't need to.
Okay, so why don't we look at this?
That way everyone's on the same page here.
Okay, so if we look at it, the retreat is on September second. I don't know if there's anything related to the finance committee that we wanna think about in terms of an agenda item, or if we wanna kinda just jump into the first full board meeting, which is 9/22.
So last year, we didn't do this discussion until September.
Right.
Correct.
But I think, given that we're changing budget committee reps, I think it makes sense to do that now anyway. So I think that certainly that September 22nd is gonna change. I think part of it will depend on when we wanna do a non-public and when negotiations start, whether we need to do a non-public of any discussion for contract.
We probably should in that meeting, because we'll want that guidance,
Yeah.
and then we'll bring that then to the board,
Right,
because after that, we'll have our first session, so it'd probably be good.
yeah.
That would make sense. What our parameters are, things like that, or,
Yeah,
you know,
and maybe looking at some old contracts, if that's
Yeah.
appropriate as
Yeah.
prep for the meeting.
Did you guys get it okay to the New Hampshire School Board? I saw that she
came
sent
today,
you,
and I
yeah.
did register, I'm gonna go through it again. so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
good.
I got it too.
And Fielding, we'll make sure you go.
That'd be great.
Really?
You know what, I'm watching-
You know,
I
when
was
I
very
talk about
eagerly
CPA,
attending
I
that.
had the best excuse ever.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I
Yeah,
do
if you're
anything
registered, they will
versus
send you
that,
the link,
yeah.
and I think they send you the link anyway. I feel like I get recordings for sessions I don't sign up for.
Yeah, but
so.
still, it doesn't cost anything, so you should just register, and that way you will probably get
Okay.
the video.
Okay, so would you anticipate here we would confirm the calendar?
Yeah, because we'll know the budget committee calendar by then.
Oh, I don't know, we might, usually that's
No, we
October.
Mm-mm.
We
Did
will.
we get that on?
The first meeting of the budget committee last year was 9/18,
Oh, okay.
so it was the day after our meeting, so we should know the meeting. And Dina will get it out to us in probably August.
Well, that didn't matter.
And then have a non-public,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, October?
October, last year in October, all the budget committee did was look at highways, starting the department reviews. So it won't be schooled until November, December, so what we're gonna wanna look at is initial, if you wanna go through initial,
Well, what
Look
would be
at the
good
budget.
is it'd be great to have Craig come and talk about facilities and the facilities needs and things like that at that meeting, so
That's
that we.
enjoying.
would that not be part of the whole budget review, or how do you want it to go?
Well, they're gonna come with a budget in November, a first draft, but it'd be nice to hear.
Well, what we did this year,
How did we
that
do this?
is we started some department reports, if you remember
Yeah,
that,
that's what I
for
was
the
thinking.
budget. So we could start that in the main board meeting, unless you want them in finance committee as well.
I don't think we need to do it twice.
Okay, so begin,
I think that's a good idea. I'd also potentially like to bring in our tech fellow. And I think in an ideal world, I know there's some time constraints for them as well, but I think in an ideal world, we would be identifying and getting them, at least in terms of how it would affect the budget, like looking at the financial impacts and then using them in the spring as kind of like for implementation. And there's a lot of details that need to be determined in that, but I think in an
are you
ideal
talking
world,
about the
we would-
partnership piece?
Well,
Yeah.
but maybe the tough student comes in September.
That's what
Either way, I think
Yeah,
just
I would
getting
think
them to
September would make
to
Start
in
getting-
early,
Yep,
Because
okay.
they're gonna
Um,
get into
I
the
can invite
weeds,
her,
so
yeah.
they should
Exactly.
get, October's a little.
and that way we can,
Yeah.
ideally be able to incorporate at least some of their recommendations
Yeah.
into proposed budgets as opposed to I felt like we were they lagged kind of behind our process last year.
But they weren't in this, you mean for the
It was a-
meals?
This is for
Yeah.
the food service
Yeah,
this year.
so I know that was kind of a unique situation, but.
Yeah, no, I think having
Ideally,
the
it'd
truck
be great
fell
to
in
have.
September would be good.
And her project is going to be looking at,
Her identified project is to help us with the partnership
yeah.
type of piece, but that certainly would play into budget in
It would
a
play
way.
into all of this.
Yeah.
Okay. The other piece before that process, just in terms of the Tuck Fellow, is to work with her on her schedule. We'll be back in September, October, our meeting may be in the midst of, I can't remember when recruiting break is. They
Yeah,
they
she
have
has-
breaks all over the
I
place.
think I've already given her the list of
Okay.
all the meeting times, and our plan is to connect in August.
Okay. Okay, so for 10-20, Finance Committee, because row 3 is school board meeting, correct?
Yeah, this I'm just making notes, and I'll
Okay.
clean it up afterwards,
I
but,
just wasn't sure if there was
yeah.
a distinction.
So
between row
10:20,
2 and
is it, do you wanna have a finance committee meeting that day?
The only thing I could think of would be is if Fielding, if you wanted to report back from budget committee, but you could do that in the main meeting. I don't know that we need to have a finance committee meeting that day unless y'all feel strongly.
I'm new to that, side of things. I can talk for, I do it all day. So, I mean, I can certainly fill a meeting, but I tend to agree with you, so it's necessary.
Why don't
So,
we
I
put
mean,
it
I'll
as
put
a
fielding
meeting
update, in board meeting?
in board meeting?
Okay.
And we could have finance
Hi,
committee tentatively on
Hi.
there. Hey, John, do you wanna come
No,
in?
I'm going home, but it's all working for you?
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
pretty there for a while, but we got it.
Oh, never mind.
Thanks,
You don't
John.
sound
Are you
good.
gonna be on
Yeah.
Zoom,
Feel better.
or are you just
I
out,
won't.
out?
No.
No.
Out, all right, well, feel better. Oh, did Andy's son?
Yes,
So his surgery.
Yeah.
So I would tentatively schedule it, but we could,
I think it's as needed and we can decide if we warn it and we don't have it, that's okay.
It dawned on me after, just takes me a moment.
And most likely, there isn't gonna be anything so impactful in budget committee that you're gonna need to have a separate finance committee for.
So, no, finance, right,
No fiance,
oh, no, yeah.
The spelling's getting even better.
Yeah.
It will depend on who the chair is and what they want to do in that first meeting.
Mhm.
In the last meeting, I think there was some philosophical kind of, what do we wanna look at, what are the things we wanna do? There'll be a couple new board or budget committee members, so it'll kind of depend, but budget committee members also normally tend to be less clear on what the process is. One of the things you may wanna ask about is get real clarity on what the process is, so you're not wondering later on, although we can talk
yeah,
as well.
for sure.
It would also help new members of the budget committee. So if you ask the smart questions, they'll learn too.
There we go.
Okay. All right. Okay, by November,
So that's the date that we had for the superintendent's recommended.
Yep.
Initial budget. Do you want to have a finance committee meeting first to go over that, as opposed to it being an initial presentation to
Yes.
the board?
Let's do
Okay.
that, yes.
Okay. Okay. So that'll just basically be the presentation, the lay of the land. Okay.
December will be prep for the presentation to the budget committee.
Right,
Because
is the first one on the 10th? Oh, we don't know the date yet.
That's what it was this year,
It was
so it was,
11 this past
I'm
year.
guessing it'll be somewhere around there.
Yes, I
Because
would,
we usually then have a special meeting beforehand so that we can go through the presentation before
right,
the thing.
that
So
would be this.
So,
Well,
I know, I'm just saying if it's on the 11th, then we gotta make sure that we meet on, I'm trying to get to the right date.
no, it's the 8th.
Oh, the 8th.
I said the 11th is when the budget
Oh,
came in
and then
last
and you
year.
think the budget will be the 9th, okay, yes.
So review. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Board meeting, any sense of what you would like to do with the board at that point?
I think they'll wanna,
They're gonna have
Because
questions.
I think that, we'll make, the leadership team will make the recommendation. You may have guidance for us, in fact, you likely will, to say, so I almost wonder if there's the review the presentation of the budget committee and response to any feedback that was given
mhm,
in the
mhm.
November meeting. So
It's
if
really
we
tight.
present.
Usually we have,
I'm wondering if we need to have another
we
meeting
need to
because
have
that's
another
too
meeting,
late for you
because
to
that's
turn
too
around.
tight, you can't turn it around that fast if there's a change.
So
Usually we have a little more time, but I don't know.
could, no, I think this is about the same. I think you just did some fancy footwork between the two meetings, but I think we maybe saw an early version of the presentation, not an early version, but some ideas about the presentation in November.
Well, if I get in November your feedback, right? and
Right.
I will have heard it from the finance committee, and I will have heard it from the full board. That gives me some time.
I see, and then you'll come
Prior
back
to
on the 8th.
December 8th, so I think I can have
Okay, yeah,
both the response to your feedback
yeah, yeah,
and a draft of the presentation to the
Yeah,
budget committee.
okay. I just wanna make sure there's enough time for you to turn it around, that's all.
Fielding, did you have a comment?
I think it's kind of tight to have, have the full board look at any potential revisions on December 8th, but also be trying to vet the presentation at the same time. So I kind of side with Elizabeth in that we might need to have another meeting, and we can separate those two things.
What if we
Because
did
you're
it
kind
the
of like,
week
well, we're
before
behind the
on
8 ball,
first?
how are we
Yeah.
gonna make these changes in 24 hours?
What if we had a meeting on December 1st? We had a finance committee meeting and a special board meeting that's just focused on the budget
Can we,
on December 1st. And then that gives a chance to focus on the pieces. If there isn't
Now,
any
one of the
changes.
things we do have in our calendar for next year, December 5th, we held for finance committee.
mhm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that this year would be December 1st.
No, this is the 28th,
Oh, I'm looking at the
Dates.
26th.
yes,
date.
sorry. So December
Whoa.
5th, I wonder if we did
It
December 5th.
is 26, and we're in 26. This December's the,
I know,
But
I'm
we're
sorry, but
preparing
the work
FY
plan
28.
is the fiscal year 28 budget.
I know, but it's, I was thinking that we could meet Tuesday the 1st. The 5th is on a Saturday. That's what what I was saying.
Sorry, I was just trying to see.
See,
when my-
here's the one
when
for
these are
December.
this year.
Here, I'm just pulling up the calendar.
Okay.
So here's what, let's see.
I know, but here's the actual,
Oh, you know what it is, it's the 15th. That's why, that's where the hold is.
yeah, but the hold, I
15th
think,
held.
needs to be
Earlier.
earlier.
Okay.
Because then we'll meet on the 10th, and then if we have to make substantial changes, we're gonna have to do that on the 15th, because then we go into the holidays, and then usually we meet right after, and we're gonna be able to come back and meet,
That was
and then go
pretty
right
much
to the, yeah.
So can I,
I think it's a tough ask to see the results of any potential changes we make on the 17th.
No, that's what I'm
And then
saying,
review.
December 1st would be
Yeah.
the meeting
Yeah.
just for budget.
okay,
So just for finance.
can I just take a
Yeah.
step back? Let's clarify. On November 17th, the full board and the finance committee, in reverse order, will see those superintendent's recommendations
Yes.
and get feedback.
Yeah.
Right.
You will update both the presentation and the budget in time for December. The question is when to see that new budget and presentation. And we're talking about doing December, it's not the,
Yeah, so
December
what's in
1st.
our calendar is December 15th.
Right.
What I'm hearing you say is that's too late, and That's,
So that's because December
Yeah.
15th was to respond to the budget committee's
Yeah,
feedback.
don't get rid of
Totally
that, that's the budget
needs to
committee
stay.
feedback.
Yeah, we need to add another
We
one.
need
But-
to add the first.
Okay, but can I make a comment on the first? I do not think we need to have both finance committee and school board. I think it's just one or the other.
Right, it's just a meeting, and I think it should be the whole board.
That's fine. I just,
And we can do
I
it
heard
at 6 o'clock if we want versus 7 o'clock.
I am
'cause
going to
it's-
be at admissions committee that week, which is why I was going, wait, what are we talking about?
So we're looking at
Let's-
December
Or
first.
do you need it at 7?
I need it.
All right, then we'll do it at 7, it's fine. But we're gonna, it's just gonna be about the
Finance
budget.
committee only.
Yeah,
No,
no,
school board.
budget, school board,
Special meeting,
special
school board
meeting
only,
for the budget.
or a budget only,
Yeah.
school board.
We're not gonna do other business. It's just gonna be about the budget.
And then December,
8th will
Eighth
be
would
our
be
regular
just-
board meeting.
and a review
And a
of where
review of
it was.
what- yeah.
And that hopefully would, any changes between the day,
Right.
that day and the next day
Yes.
would be small enough that we
It'll
would
be
have
just
time to
minor,
respond.
yeah,
And we're not keeping you up till, God knows when to make all those changes.
yeah.
Okay.
So on the, and just to clarify, on December 8th, which would be a regular board meeting, the finance committee will still meet to review the
On
presentation?
December 8th,
Yeah.
I'm not sure we need to, if we're
I
gonna
don't
do it
think we
again.
need to.
Okay, so no finance. no.
There, so the only thing I'm thinking is, we might wanna reserve those dates as needed, because we don't know where negotiations will be. So I think we
That's right.
keep them on the calendar, but put
Yes,
as needed.
but we don't have a,
Well,
an
do-
agenda yet for
Right.
those, yeah. Because
well,
the negotiations could create a whole bunch of things.
It could be faster, it could be long, and we
Yeah.
won't know till we get there.
CBA focus meeting, finance meeting?
Yeah, but I think we also need it for,
The first two. 15th, you
no,
mean?
no, 8th is a regular meeting.
Yes.
I was gonna say no for November.
Oh.
You wanted to,
We've already got a finance committee meeting, but I think
yeah,
we
you
should
wanna
say
add CBA to that too?
potential, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's just a recurring
Yeah,
potential agenda item until.
yeah, we'll just keep until the thing is done.
Do we have any scheduled meetings as part of that negotiation process yet?
No, that
They've
will
just
happen.
opened.
They just
They
opened it.
just sent us the
They
letter.
just sent us the letter. That'll start in the fall.
There's a formal process. My recollection is, I was on the negotiating team last time, but it was my first year on the board, so I didn't really remember it all that
Yeah.
well. But my recollection was it took place in the beginning of the school year.
I
Yeah.
think,
And we had wrapped up by November.
I think we should also pencil in for that October meeting,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yep,
that's gonna be
yeah, it's
probably
just,
the
it
largest
just
topic.
depends on where, I mean, you're gonna have a report out at every meeting.
Yeah.
And this is, this is for finance,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, we may or may not have that.
I don't think we need to update the board until we have something to update them on. Okay, so December, sorry, now I'm looking at the calendar. December 15th would be an as-needed
Yeah.
meeting to respond to budget committee.
Yep.
On last year, the second full week of January.
Remember, we had to push it out, we asked.
We also had a
because budget
snow
committee.
day for
Right.
budget committee that created havoc, so.
The original schedule was, this is last year, so you remember we have to switch dates, was that on Wednesday, January 8th was the next discussion of the school.
So that'd be January 6th.
It would be January 6th. It's brutal. It's
So
brutal.
brutal, because people are walking back in on 2 days before, I don't know what they expect.
Well,
Alright.
who knows if that's the calendar, but I think we need to plan for it as
Yeah.
if it is.
So you've got it held for the 5th, that's
Mhm.
tight, but there's nothing we can do, because it's holiday before that.
And then,
I think realistically that December 15th, we're gonna be meeting, given the holiday.
We
you're gonna
usually-
have
Yeah,
to-
I mean, that's what
Oh,
happened
we
this
usually
year.
do.
Yeah.
You should just have, put it on your calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that one of the things that because I know it was frustrating for some members of the budget committee last year to get the presentation and the
I
information
know.
so late, but we need, there's just a reality here
Yeah.
of what happens over break and everybody's gone.
Would it be helpful to go to that November budget committee meeting just in the beginning to say, or at some point, whether you go to the September one or whatever, and to lay out our work plan and say, hey, we're working towards it, we're gonna get it to you when we can.
Yeah, I can
But-
also share this with Dina.
Yes, and I think a verbal, quick comment in a meeting may be helpful for those who do not always read the things that come to them beforehand. Sometimes that's me, so I'm fully owning that.
So-
But it may be helpful to whether it is attending at the beginning of the year, or whether it's fielding, that you can also do this.
Yeah.
Is to present this work plan and say, our goal is to get you those documents as soon as possible, but realistically, given,
Well, this is
All
when
the
it gets
things we
tight, it's
do.
this one.
yeah, this is when we're gonna get you final versions. We can get you drafts, but they will not be accurate.
They won't, and I mean, that's the thing, is I don't wanna mislead anyone,
Mm.
until we actually know and run the numbers and.
Well, realistically though, the town will present partial budgets, or not present, they don't present it, but they will include documents that have partial budget numbers and have blanks and, or
Yeah.
last year's, I wouldn't put last year's numbers in, cause then people get hopeful, or not hopeful. But, have blanks for the things we don't know. And I think if that's helpful, even if you can't get the presentation to them,
Okay.
I think maybe a early budget.
So,
I
first
don't
budget
know.
committee meeting is in September, is that?
Let's-
So, share work plan with budget committee?
Yeah, share work plan, and then part of the finance committee conversation in November will be to say, what do we feel we can share with the budget committee at this point that would be accurate enough without creating
Right.
false expectations, if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense.
Okay. So, Wednesday the if they stick on the same schedule, Wednesday the 13th and Wednesday the 20th, the budget committee will be meeting and voting on town and school proposed budgets, including warrant
Those
articles.
are district, and the whatever called meetings, the public hearings,
No, the public hearing is in February.
and February.
These are just the votes on what to take to public hearing.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna make that assumption, we can always change it.
Yeah.
So, February 4th, we have this.
February 3rd.
3rd.
So, obviously, we're meeting before all of those school board meeting, before the January school board meeting, and we need to have tentative meetings on the schedule for,
So you're gonna meet finance committee meeting here, right?
the 12th? Yep. I think.
Yeah.
I'm sure, we'll
I think so.
have things to discuss.
And then potentially on, so the school board meeting will also be on the 12th. I
Right,
don't,
and
Yeah,
follow
that's the,
do we need a follow-up meeting?
Well, wait a minute, if we're presenting it on the sixth, isn't the second one the optional for the second review with the budget committee?
No. Here's what happens. This is last year's schedule, so the dates
Right.
are all wrong, but
Right,
Wednesday, January 8th was discussion of proposed operating budget and
I
warrant articles.
see, I see.
Wednesday, the 15th was the first potential vote on the town and school budget.
Oh, okay.
And the 22nd,
Because
if
you, if
necessary.
necessary, got it, right.
Yeah.
So, those 3 weeks.
Yeah. So potentially, I don't know, I don't think it hurts to have the meeting on there and cancel it if we don't need it.
I'd rather have a meeting and cancel it than not have it.
No, before the 19th. No, sorry, I'm still in January.
Yeah,
Well-
for January.
The 12th,
The 12th is already there, but I'm also talking about the
19th.
19th, because
19th,
that's
yep.
before this
Okay.
possible vote.
Yep.
We don't know when the vote will be. Sorry, I realized that's okay. Screws up your system there.
January 19th.
Yeah.
Whole finance?
Yeah. I don't think we need to have the full board. Because there won't be anything to vote on. We will have voted on everything. It'll just be response if there are questions. Okay, and then, yeah, and then after that, it's the hearing on the third.
Third, yeah.
And if necessary, on the 10th. The 10th is also potential. Yeah. Third and the 10th, yeah.
And then this year, district meetings on March 4th.
Okay. So the 9th, I would put,
That's a regularly scheduled board meeting,
yeah,
so.
let's hold for finance committee just in case.
Okay.
Because also we may have gosh, I hope negotiations are done by then, but let's just, worst case scenario plan. Okay. I wanna take a minute, because our 30 minutes are basically up right now, but is there any public comment before we close public comment?
Critical deliberations here.
Connie, anything to say before we close public comment? And you can just keep muted if you don't have anything. Okay, we're gonna move on. Public comment is closed at 6:38. Okay. And that's it. After that, it's, Finance Committee does not need to meet. After that, it's prepping the presentation for the annual school district meeting, and I don't think we have any role with that. Does that sound good to you and reasonable to you?
Yeah.
And all those other meetings, we're like in red, we're like, maybe if we need to, you get to go to this year.
I would like to just, I don't know what they're gonna do, but I would maybe, I can always like email you directly, but in advance of the budget committee meetings and just make sure that
Absolutely.
I can get into the details with you and Janet.
It's a good time.
Speak knowledgeably.
That's for sure.
Okay. Let me go back to, what do we have here? That was it for our agenda. We don't need to go into non-public, so before we adjourn, is there any other item of business anybody needs to bring up? All right, with that, we're gonna adjourn at 6:40. And our goal will be for every meeting to end by 6:55, so people have a 5-minute break before school board committee. But you get 20 minutes, you're welcome.
Whatever we do at the time.